Hester, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to do an unboxing, which sounds very mysterious. And it's not as mysterious as those cookies we made the other day, right? Where we added beans and different things like that. This is pretty simple. Misfit Market, and that's what this is, and it's really heavy today. So it's for the basic box. You can get a large one or a small one, and there's set prices, and then there's other things you can get. So I'm not sure what it's like now. In the very beginning, I couldn't pick my produce for quite some time, and now there's a time slot where I get to pick my produce every week. And you can order extras, and I ordered a lot of extras in here too. But since I hadn't done an unboxing in a while, I wanted to kind of show you. Some people, I've still been using Misfit Market, wow, for over a year, I think. There were some problems with deliveries in the summer, and some of the produce was smashed or just mishandled between Misfit and here. They always gave me a refund pretty easily, and with the summer it's a little bit harder because some things can go wrong if it doesn't get delivered quickly enough. But actually, let me change this too. But I found since it's gotten cooler again, it's all back on track. However, if you should get this or not is up to you. I am merely showing you things. And I see some people are coming on, so come on and say hi. Let me know if you've done Misfit Market before or not. This is the big ice thing. This just came today, and it is frozen completely solid. And it's a bio drain. Here, I'll let you guys see this too. I think this is kind of cool. It's a sink and garden safe gel pack. So that's kind of nice. Hi, Sophia. Or Sophia, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Sophia. Let me put this over here. So that, and then it's got some cardboard in here. Now, some things I ordered extra, and hopefully I'll remember. So I know I got some extra pea shoots. And when I say extra, what I mean is that I paid more for them. Let me see if I can get this set up a little bit better. I think you'll see a little bit more this way. Okay, awesome. So again, we're unboxing, and the things that I got and paid for separately, I'm going to put to the side. So I got some pea shoots. I also got some jars of things. And these Meyer lemons. I got 2 Meyer lemons, and I paid extra for those. So if you look along the side, I did put you a link wherever you're viewing it, where if you want to try Misfit Market, you can get 25% off your first one. And sometimes you get to pick your first one, and sometimes you don't. So I got some salsas. I got some mild salsa to try. And again, this was not in the actual box included, but actually I just bought it extra. I noticed Imperfect Produce has a lot of stuff like this, and Misfit has kind of started getting more of it. I got some organic marinated olives. Hi, Jackie. And person who I'm calling Facebook user, who's probably someone I know quite well. If you're in a Facebook group, I don't see your name, but if you put your name, and then I got some Kalamata olives. Sometimes the things are good prices, and sometimes they're not. So those are some extras. Ooh. There goes a Meyer lemon on the floor for me to get later. But the rest in here, I'm almost positive, is all from the box. So the box is one price, and this is the big one. You can get the boxes every week or every other week. You can postpone them for as long as you want. So if you had issues in the summer and you just didn't want to get them in the summer, you could do that. Hungry Harvest is another one. Imperfect Produce. There's a whole bunch of places like this, and I may dabble with a few more in the beginning of the year. Hi, Ashley. Oh, and Ashley made the Brussels sprouts last night. So if you missed those, if you missed the smoky maple Brussels sprouts, be sure to go back and watch them. And she said she's excited for this cactus to bloom. It's coming close, right? Like, can you guys see here? Sort of. There are a few that are getting real close. Maybe if I show you underneath. Can you guys see that? So there's a few. They might bloom by Christmas, a couple of these at least. Some of them are going slow, but that's okay too. I like them both. Okay, and it's Helena's here. And I think, Helene, have you used Misfit Market before? Or you were looking into another service too. And it was Joanne switched from Facebook to YouTube. Hi, Joanne. And Stephen loved the sprouts. Yeah, the sprouts are really good. I don't often kind of toot my own horn, but if it turns Cheryl from a hater to a lover, then I feel pretty good about it. So again, this is the big box, and some things will be awesome and some things might have a little oomph in it, and we'll talk about all those. I was going to unbox last week, but I didn't because I left it sitting around for a while, and that's not fair to them. Hi, Susan. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. I'm not going to be sad that I paid full price for this. It's rare for me to pay full price, but you know, sometimes you got to do. And Helene's not a big fan of Misfit or Imperfect. I did the Farm Box Direct unboxing with a Misfit that you can see on YouTube, and the Farm Box was really beautiful produce, but it cost twice as much as the Misfit box and was about a quarter of the produce. So I've got some little bitty lettuces, but I've got 2 of those. I haven't tried to do this in a while, so it's always trying to fit it under the overhead camera. I've got 2 little things of kale, and I do find as the seasons go on, you know, some things are better than others. Oh, and I do have the smallest, tiniest thing of romaine I've ever seen. I'm kind of hoping there's a little more romaine. If not, what I'll do is I'll take a picture of this and go, hello, this is not enough romaine. I've had it before. I bought a small pie pumpkin in the marketplace separate, and it was like the size of a softball. So I was like, yeah, no, you have to refund me, and they just refund me. So I've got a big bunch of cilantro. We'll set that there. I've got, actually I have 2 bunches of cilantro. Actually, these are really pretty decent bunches of cilantro. And then these are some other just regular green kale. And I may have some other things under here that I ordered. I think I ordered some sage leaves. I did get from them pears. So I think I got 2 kinds of pears. So it looks like I have 3 of the red ones. I'll let you guys see from overhead while we can still sort of see. I know that's 1 bite of romaine. So if that's what they sent me, then it's, because I don't see another romaine. Like if there was another one in here, honestly, I just wouldn't complain. I'd be like, okay. And then here's the other pears. I've got some smaller Danjo pears, or however you say that. And see, like right here, there is a hole in that one, but I can cut that off, so I'm good with that. If these were smushy or not okay, that's when I would look to send them back. Wow. That's a beat, people. That kind of makes up for my bite of romaine, doesn't it? Although, no, okay. I thought a tiny potato was going to be. Did find another red pear as well. So I'll get that in there. We've got a bunch of apples. I think I have 2 different kinds of apples. And they are often going to vary in size with this. And I'm okay with that. And then I got a few different, here's another pear. Let me see if I can get some of this moved up a little bit. It doesn't all usually fit here. You'll see some more from the other side. I've got some different citrus, so I'll put that up here. And so off the top of my head, I think it's about $35 for this box. And so sometimes you kind of have to look around and see if things kind of met your expectations or not. I'll put these out too, because I did get some different rices and stuff as well. No, it doesn't make up for the romaine, Joanne says. Yeah, the pears are in amazing shape. And peace be to you as well, Be Love Inc., my favorite ladies. Thank you for coming by and visiting. So I can see a bunch of people have come. Oh, and Gina just finished with Chef AJ. Excellent. So I'm unboxing Misfit Market. So what it is it's imperfect produce. So I'm getting the large box, and I have some extra things that I've added on, which means I purchased in addition to the regular box. The regular box is, I think, about $35. It's all organic produce as well. I'm going to kind of let you guys see some of these because I'll put some of them in on top, so maybe we can sort of see them. There's a bunch of sweet potatoes. I've got a lot of sweet potatoes today. And then I got some little baby, real baby potatoes. One of them is squished. Two of them are squished, and I'll show you what do I mean by squished? This is what I mean. You can tell it's been squished, and I'll let you see overhead too. Okay? Right? Now, honestly, since this is pretty fresh, I'd cut all that off and use half the potato. Same thing. So I'm not going to say, hey, give me 2 potatoes, because I'm always feel like usually there's a little bit of wiggle room in some of this. There's lots of things. So like this was the amount of cilantro I got. That's a lot. So in the past, I've done stuff like, is it as big as my head? And it kind of is. Now I knew the lettuce, these 2 lettuces were going to be pretty small because they're just hydroponic head lettuce, and those are often quite small. The romaine is very disappointing, although I could make some little romaine tacos with this. Honestly, if I wanted to, because I have to think now, do I want to go through the trouble of emailing them a report and taking a picture for this? Actually, I wouldn't even have to take a picture. They would just give it to me. So sometimes I'll look around, and this time probably I'd be like, I think I have more than $35 worth of produce. I can take a hit on this. I've got, like these kale are big. The dino kale is a little bit light, but I think together they kind of work out okay. My beet serving is this. So normally I would expect to maybe get 2 or 3 smaller beets, but that looks fine. So some of the things I got on the side that are not included in the money. So whenever something goes wrong with like something from the marketplace, I ask for a refund immediately. And so some of you guys saw I got some organic olives, some organic salsa, and sometimes there's only a small discount and sometimes there's a decent discount, and that's usually when I get it. I got some quinoa, and imperfect produce has a lot of this extra stuff, and usually they have things like Beyond Sausage. Got some brown basmati rice, and I don't think that this is organic. But I've just been kind of trying to stock up because I don't see organic on it. Let me see if it says in the ingredients. No, I don't think that's organic, and I don't think the quinoa is organic. I've got some sage, a couple of Meyer lemons, which are really yummy, some pea shoots, and they had this vegan sustainable food wrap. Usually the sustainable food wrap has beeswax on it, which makes it not vegan. So I was curious about this, and it does look really pretty much the same. I'll show you this. Let's see. Yeah, it is a giant beet, Deborah. Yeah, lots of fall and winter food. And I got to pick this. So I could have picked zucchini or tomatoes or yellow squash. But I also know that it's not the perfect season for them. So I'm looking for things that I want. Like for me, we've been really enjoying some salads lately. So I wanted to get as much lettuce as I could. Also, the pears and apples, we can eat fresh. We can put in oatmeal. We can make crumbles with them. Same thing with sweet potatoes. We can cook them and have savory or have them sweet. There's always room for potatoes in my life and cilantro, because cilantro I'm going to use on Mexican food or Hispanic, Latin American dishes. I'm going to use it in Thai food. I'm going to use it in Indian food. And if this is too much, I can dehydrate this and save it and use it later. What I could do, if this was too much kale for me too, is I could cut it up, tear it up, rinse it, dry it, and freeze it. You could blanch it and freeze it, but you can get away with not blanching it too, especially if you want to put it in smoothies. So those are all some different ways. Hi, Apple. Oh, look, you've got a nice, happy holiday avatar now. It looks awesome. And someone said and Gina said, did I order the rice except, yes. All of the stuff that I've moved over here to this corner, that is stuff I paid extra for, and it's separate from my box. So this, in between the plants, is my box. And when you think like, how much is organic kale right now? Is it like $2 or $3 for one of these? And when you start getting to food by the pound that's organic, that's when things go up really quickly, like the potatoes, the beets, and things like that. And I'm not saying you have to order organic, but I will say this is the best price amount for the price of organic produce that I've gotten anywhere in any form. And so, and Gina said, do you get to pick the produce? Is it like a CSA? So in the beginning, and when they're still rolling out new places, so when they roll out a new place, you don't get to pick. You can say, I hate grapefruit, and hopefully you won't get grapefruit. Then when they get a little more enmeshed in your area, then they roll out, you can pick it. So on Thursdays, I think it's at 4 o'clock. That's when it opens up for me and my people. So some of the things will already be taken. So if you don't get there right at 4, but then you can pick the different things. Now there are in different, sorry, Max says hi. They are in different sections. So there may be, you might be like, well, I want of 12 things, I want all the things to come from what I get to pick 3 of. So that doesn't work. So they do separate some things out, so you don't really get to do exactly what you want. And I can't, if they didn't have dino kale and regular kale, I couldn't get 2 kales, if that makes sense. So I can't just go, I want all beets, but I can pick from some other things, if that makes sense. Okay. Awesome. And someone said their last Misfit box wasn't their box. They shipped someone else's, and there were many items that we wouldn't use. Got our money back, but was done. And I can understand. Everybody has a different tolerance level right now. I ordered a turmeric ginger tea concentrate that broke all over my box a couple of weeks ago. And it's not Misfit's fault. It's the delivery people's fault, because they slung it around too much, because I had already had a couple of other of those come to me because they were such a deal. But what I did is I took pictures of the things that weren't usable and rinsed off everything else. And pretty much I lost 4 things out of it, but they gave me, 25% of my money back, which was, I thought, more than fair. Plus they gave me the cost of the tea itself. And it was just a real lucky box, because there were some vegan gluten-free items that I had gotten, and it did, for some reason, right where they were, it didn't get on them, but everything else was fixable. So any box like this, including a CSA, if you're very picky, so CSAs, you usually don't get to pick what you want in your box. So there's that. And CSA means community supported agriculture. So you're usually working directly with the farmer for that. So, so it's a wonderful thing to do because your farmers have issues sometimes going through raising money to get all the things they need to start their farming cycle. Where I live in Durham, North Carolina, we even have winter CSAs. And it looks, you know, a lot like greens, some greenhouse lettuce. There might be some greenhouse strawberries or tomatoes in my area, lots of potatoes and things like that. It's one of those things, and you know, nothing's for everybody. So I'm not trying to say you must do this, but I do feel like we get a lot of value for our money. I feel like in general, most of the produce is pretty fresh. I mean, like if we looked at this potato, you know, it's got a few scrapes, some scars, but once I peel this, it'll be great. So, you know, and the produce is really particularly good. Let me see if I can, here's a big soft spot on the apple. And that's going to happen even if you get something shipped from anywhere, but that's all it is right there. I'm going to cut that out and use it. Sometimes you'll get potatoes that are a little smaller than you like, or bigger than you like, or not perfect. But that is kind of the thing we're dealing with here, is we're getting more produce for less money at a discount, if that helps at all. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, somebody else's dog is barking. Sorry. I know. Cheryl's not always on top of Max when it comes to keeping him quiet. And Joanne says, she's talking to me, that I've had great customer service with Misfit, and I really have. There is not one time that they have disputed anything. Now, what will happen, I've had someone be very angry about this, is that their box got lost in the delivery. And I think it's probably UPS or FedEx that does it. So when it came to them, it was a mess. It was a melted mess of vegetables in the summer. But it's like 9 o'clock at night and they're trying to get Misfits to answer them. That didn't happen. So they were very angry at me, but I give them 24 hours. I've never had it take a whole 24 hours, but by the time they get back to me, basically with how much they're going to refund me, is that okay? I've had them refund me for a whole box when about half or a little more than half was messed up because of just the heat and transport. Because once it leaves them, they can't control it. Now, Hungry Harvest, I think, uses delivery people in local areas. Though I will say, I did Hungry Harvest for about a year, and there were some things I was happy about and some things I wasn't. So I think that's going to be with any of these services. So I felt like for a while, I wasn't just getting ugly produce, I was getting some produce that really shouldn't be used. I know some people have said the same thing about Misfit. But what I do is wait and see, is that a one-time thing and should I just get refunded, or is that something that's continuing on with that service? And I think that makes my decision for me. And Joanne says the sweet potatoes look like the sweet potatoes offered at the market. And I find that most of the stuff, other than maybe being a little extra big or a little extra small, looks pretty awesome. For a while I was getting kale that was yellow by the time it got to me, refunded me every time. So it just depends if you're okay with it or not. You know, what's your patience level at the moment? And Gina says, hence the word misfit. I love that the idea that it's not going to waste. Exactly. And sometimes it'll be things like there'll be scarring on something, which if you don't know better might look like it's bad. But what it is it's just scarring and it's perfectly fine to eat. So that's kind of nice to know. And Apple says, I reckon people would be shocked by how much fresh produce is trash because it's not pretty enough. Exactly. And suggests that we all watch a documentary called Just Eat It. And it's true, a lot of times something can have a little scar or a little scratch, or this potato might just get thrown in the trash and go to the dump. Not necessarily go to the homeless shelter where it could go into a soup and feed people. So that's one of the reasons I like using this. Plus, I love a good deal, and I feel like I'm getting a really good deal as well. And Marilyn says, I was finally able to sign up for Misfits, and her first order will be here next week. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Marilyn, were you able to pick yours for the first order that you did or not? Just trying to gauge what's going on with that. But yeah, I think it was a couple of months ago, I had some weird stuff in my box. Most of it was the same, but I think they mixed up an order because I had grapefruits. And I'm just a no. The grapefruit can be in my cocktail or my fruit punch blend. And that's about all the use I have for grapefruits, personally. And yeah, and Marilyn, I hope that you like it. And if you don't, here's the thing, and I did a video about this before. You can go on the site, you go to the contact form, you say something wasn't right with my box. You can tell them, I tell them which things were from the box versus marketplace items I ordered separately. Because another time I actually had ordered some oat milk from the marketplace that got busted open. But again, most of the stuff I have here, the lettuce would be rough to rinse off, the cilantro, but most of it would rinse off. And just tell them, and I usually just do, you can even do one picture with your phone of all the things that don't look well. And I just do that, A, because it makes me feel better about complaining. B, so that they can see, because maybe if they packed the cilantro differently next time, everybody cilantro would get there. So I feel like also I'm helping with the process, but I've never had any pushback about getting a refund. But some people are very irritated and offended that they have to take that step. And I know some people have been like, I was just so disappointed with my box, it was all ruined. And I'm like, did they refund you? And they were like, I didn't reach out. So if you don't reach out, you're not helping anyone, including yourself. So even if you just take a phone picture, ship it off, I think that helps everyone a lot. And Marilyn says, they say I can go in for a 3-day period starting and select produce. So she is going to be able to select some. And some things may be out. And I noticed a lot of times you can go and look and see what's out too if you want to, or have it included in what you see. Is that sometimes it's like, oh man, I really wanted that purple daikon. And then sometimes it's like, well, that's just normal produce that I don't care that I'm missing out on. So I've not found that I've gone in there and there's just been nothing I wanted. But if there was nothing I wanted, I can skip that week, as long as the order hasn't been put in. If you don't pick your produce, if you don't go in and do that, they will pick it for you. So it will be a mystery box. And that can be fun too. Deborah says she's been thinking about signing up but wasn't sure if it was a good deal, so I'm glad to hear you think it is. I might give it a try after all. And Marilyn says, I take pictures for refunds with Azure and always have good service. Yeah, I think part of it, and I know for all of you who have been too upset to do something, just know that I do understand, and I'm not trying to point fingers at you. I have, in fact, had crazy tech day myself, where I've had to be on 3 computers to get an image ready to go for YouTube because of all the tech we're changing over. So, and it's 2020, and I'm full, quite frankly. But try and, with something like this, if it helps you, think that if I tell them what's going on, it could help somebody else too. That might give you that extra little of just taking a picture and sending that email. And what's kind of cool is they're not going to then send you that produce. They're just going to credit your next order so that you get that cheaper. So if you're doing a CSA or doing one of these kind of imperfect box services like Imperfect, Hungry Harvest, and I'll see, like I said, I might try out a few new ones, new to me ones in January and show us all what's going on. It's not like you can then not go to the store at all ever again. Now, during a pandemic, can I make it work? Absolutely. And in fact, that's why, I went somewhere else, I got 2 bags of brown rice. Came here, got a bag of brown rice and some quinoa. So I'm kind of planning for that extra. I'm not going out, but usually I get this and then I'm like, okay, what things do I want that I can't get here? And there'll be certain things I get at Trader Joe's because it's cheaper, or Aldi's, or go to Sprouts because I can't get it anywhere else. So, but you certainly could live on this. I got a lot of fruit, and that was my choice. I could have chosen to not have any fruit. So I like the way this works in that you have a good amount of choice in things. Oh, thank you, Joanne. There is still a discount code available, and wherever you're looking, somewhere around there, there is a link for that code, and what that means is you'll get 25% off your first box. And then you can cancel after that if you want to. So, I mean, if you want to try it, certainly take advantage of that code. If you don't think this is for you, that's okay too. It's, you have to do what's going to work best for you. Of the boxes, this is the least expensive, best quality organic produce that I've gotten consistently. And that's all I can say. If you go back and you look on my YouTube channel, I've got a whole playlist of nothing but me unboxing these this year. So you can go back and see some of the others. This one was pretty good. There's some others that, and actually, was that rutabaga. Last week I got a rutabaga that was this big, looked like a small cantaloupe. So sometimes I get things that are as big as my head. And also, I put this on YouTube and I put it on Vegan Recipes Cooking with Kathy Hester under the video in the comments, because last night we started talking about making some Christmas gifts on some of the lives, and I've got to tell you, I'm getting a little crispy burnout by going live every day. So I know on December 25th that I'm going to put a new video up, so you guys are still going to have something fun, and it's going to be for holiday tofu and gravy. I'm also thinking if Cheryl can get it edited tonight, the 24th, I may put up the dog cookie video with the recipe, so you guys could make those and give those out as presents too. That's still up in the air a little bit, but I put in a comment, if you click the link to sign that that particular link that's on YouTube and Vegan Recipes Cooking with Kathy Hester right now, you can download a free holiday e-gift book that I made last year. And so it's got dog cookies, it's got body powder you make with cornstarch or arrowroot, whatever you have, and maybe some essential oil or vanilla or peppermint extract. There's a sugar scrub, there's banana oat dog cookies, and there's like, you know how you can make these little soup mixes? So there's like lentil rice Instant Pot meal that you can make out of there too. So those are things that you can make and just give as gifts if either you haven't had the time or you just don't have the extra cash. Because it's way cheaper to buy a big old thing of cornstarch and use some peppermint extract from your counter than it is to buy someone some nice powder, and it's really pretty nice. Oh, good. So Joanne said it is in the notes there. And Apple's thinking about pandemic produce too and trying to figure out the best way for them to get enough fresh veg safely. And we talked about this a lot in the Facebook Lives at the beginning of the pandemic. And that's when I was really saying, because here's some other things to think about as far as pandemic food safety, getting food safely to you. Instacart is something really good, and I'll try and put this up next time because I think I have a discount code for that too. It's like $100 a year, but then you can get groceries delivered, and it depends on what zip code you're in. So where I am, at first there weren't that many, but now I can get from Aldi's and Costco and BJ's and Publix, hoping on Wegmans when it opens up soon. And they've added things like a wine store and a drugstore. So it's been very nice for us and very convenient. You do end up tipping people, so you do pay, kind of that extra premium for that kind of service. And there's another, Helene, well, actually, there's another service I'm going to try. So once I try it, I'll unbox it and I'll tell you guys about it, because I hate to put it out in the world to try something when I haven't tried it before, because it could be horrible. But there is another grocery service I'm going to try, and I know that Apple is in Vancouver, and I'm pretty sure that Misfit Market is a US only, but I would think there are some Canadian services that are happening, or I don't know if you can get any overlap from that at all. Do I ferment? I want to, and actually Joanne gave me a holiday gift of a fermentation class. I have all the tools I need, so now I just need to start fermenting. But that's something I kind of wanted to do over the pandemic, but instead I do live videos all the time. So that's where I spent my effort instead of fermentation and sourdough. Okay, awesome. Okay, great. Oh, and Gina says, every day is so ambitious, I'd be exhausted. You know, I'm exhausted. I am. I'm also trying to get a bunch of stuff ready for January, so I'm kind of, all the things are colliding. And that's why, because my goal really is to do a video every day. It doesn't have to be live. That I added in the live factor because that's how I typically do mine. And that's why I might take 2 or 3 days, and you might get new videos from me at least. And I might be in my jammies checking on comments along with the video. I'm going to see if I can set it up as a premiere so it feels at least like you're getting to go see something. But that way I can have a couple days, just a couple of days to not comb my hair or brush my teeth would be really lovely at this point, which I know is gross to say. But you know I'm real with you. I just want to, maybe I want to not get out of bed for 24 hours and just read and fall asleep and read and fall asleep. That's like my dream vacation right now. That's obtainable. I do have other dream vacations that involve going to the UK, which are not happening right now for sure. And so Gina said, and Joanne's going to make doggy treats for her favorite puppies, and that's awesome. And Joanne, you should, didn't you take the Zeus class last year? Because you should have that cookie recipe and the ebook already. If not, email me, because I know you're already on the list. So, and I'll get it to you. Those of you who would like that, it's just some pictures and a couple of recipes. It's not a big deal. It's not, however, those recipes aren't really anywhere else, I don't think, at the moment. So the body powder one is, but then there's like a sugar scrub, like I said, the lentils and beans, and it's all set up for you to gift it with the instructions printed out so they could make it. And the dog cookies I make on a baking sheet. We start out and cooking it like that, then score it, and then break it up and really make them super crunchy. So you can make them for teeny little Chihuahuas or giant Great Danes. You can change the shapes to be whatever you want. And Gina says, does Instacart charge per trip also? It is slightly unknown at this moment. It would have appeared the last time I went there that they were saying something about it. But the last 2 or 3 times that I've gotten something from them, I did not get charged a trip charge. Before they said that, so we've probably had it off and on for 2 years or more. There was never, it was just the $99, made it free. Over 30, you do have to have $35 or more, or you do have to pay. And then I highly suggest, like, they default their tip at 5%, which is nothing. So how we've done it is we usually tip between 15 and 20% depending on how large our order is, how quickly, how hard it is to find. Because there's some stuff of mine that, a normal shopper is going to have to spend extra time. And in the past, what we've done is, as the risk was higher, we've tipped as high as 25 or 30%, honestly. Because we appreciate the fact that someone else is getting our groceries, and we're very grateful for that. And that's the least we can do to show our appreciation. Okay, and let's see what we got here. Joanne says even Uber is doing deliveries now. Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out. And Marilyn says Walmart has delivery with yearly subscription, around $100 per year, so it's very similar. Can have more than one address. My daughter and my 2 granddaughters and I can order also. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, with Instacart, we before when we traveled, we ordered. So we've ordered all over the country using it. So it didn't have one set address at all. And yeah, a lot of times you can get same-day delivery. Here's the thing, if the pandemic gets the way it was earlier this year where no one is allowed to go out pretty much, then you're not going to be able to get same-day deliveries probably, but you'll be able to get next-day deliveries. So I used to have these services just for when I was working on a book, because that way I could not leave the house and get something sent to me, because sometimes it's a pain to put the dog up, turn the oven off, stop what I was doing and the 3 other things I was doing to go get an onion or something like that. Awesome. And Gina's saying Whole Foods delivers if over 35. I have to dodge all the delivery shoppers when I'm there. Oh, I know. Actually, I did go yesterday because I ran by Trader Joe's to get something for Cheryl. I was in that magic hour where I could go in and get out. And I decided to go ahead and go over to Whole Foods and grab a couple of things. And there were 4 times as many Whole Foods shoppers in there as making deliveries or pickups than there were others. And I could almost not look at any aisle at all. So yeah, that's the last time I'm walking into Whole Foods for a while. They can bring, because I'm lucky enough that I'm near a Whole Foods and they can deliver it to me. I don't shop at my local Whole Foods. I actually shop at one that's in Chapel Hill because ours is so much smaller. And so I've just been trying to shop in bigger places that make me feel a little more comfortable when I do. Okay. All right. So that's my Misfits for, oh, I did want to show you this because, you know, they usually have these guys that are reusable wraps. So I wanted to see how this is going to work. So this is actually with wax. And so I'm supposed to be able to, let's see, like have something in here, and I think it's the warmth of my hand. Yeah, it's the warmth of my hand. This is, I'm not doing it perfectly, but I'll show you. So it's reusable wrap. And so typically they've made it with beeswax, but this is actually a vegan wrap. And it had several pieces. It wasn't super cheap. I mean, I think it was like $12 or $14. Oh, here we go. And this is the one it was. It's called Vanuva, maybe? Vanuva. And it's all natural. It's plant-based, plastic-free, washable, handcrafted. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, it's wax, pine resin, soy wax, and some coconut oil. And it's that when I put my warmth of my hands, it loosens it up. And simply activate the wraps using the warmth of your hands before shaping each one over your favorite foods and dishware. As they cool, the wrap forms a natural seal for maximum freshness. Hand wash in cold water with mild dish soap. Hang to air dry before storing or reusing. Don't put it in the microwave, and it's not for hot temperatures. And I like this. It says, not recommended for raw meat. Go figure, is what they say. It is vegan wraps, after all. So I've been really curious about the beeswax ones. So yeah, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I lose the lids to my reclosable containers, or I just want something in something like this. You know, maybe I had some things left over. So this is going to be very interesting to kind of give it a go. Joanne says her hands are always cold. I'm like, I can't wait till I get the cold hands. I'm getting close. I actually have a blanket that I'm using this year on the couch to be cozy. Because I do keep the house like a meat locker. I really keep it quite cold. Oh, and Apple said, my mom always said, cold hands, warm heart. I like that. Okay, guys, now I have to go put away all this food, which means I have to clean the fridge and stuff like that. But it was wonderful to hang out with you guys. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Trying to plan the next 2 days after that. But even when I'm taking a day off, if you tag me on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you are, it's easy for me to find you. But I would love it if you guys, so if you guys go ahead and you sign up for that holiday book, you will get on my email list, and so you'll know if I have a new recipe or if I'm announcing something cool that I'm doing. But that's really it. It's not like I don't sell your email or do anything like that. I am involved in a bundle and a summit coming up, and I'll be talking about that anyhow. There's going to be another kind of class book bundle with Amy, and that was a less expensive one, so that'll be more affordable for most of you than the one I did last month. And there was some cool stuff. I really like Amy Katz's Veggie Save the Day. It's really cool. I like that. I like her site. And then Veggies Don't Bite, Sophia is doing a vegan summit. So you'd be able to attend the vegan summit for free, but you could also buy the recording. So just know, those are two things that are coming up that you might hear about. But it's not like I go every day, and now it's time for you to buy this, right? Because that's just not my deal. It's just like this. If I want to show you this, because if this was something you were looking for and you didn't know about it, I want you to know. If this is something you've tried and you don't like it and you don't ever want to do it again, that is just fine with me. Right? So just know that. And B Love says, I never heard of Misfit Market Madness Box, so thank you so much for sharing. Oh, awesome. And there's so many cool things like this. And actually, yeah, check your area too, because I know there are a lot of farmers that are doing some cool stuff. In my area, there's actually a new box, like a new winter CSA kind of thing, and they have a regular box and a vegan box. I wish I remember the name. Nancy just told me about it, and it's all black farmers, which is awesome. And so we have also started having a black farmers market because we have so many wonderful growers. We have a diverse grower community, and sometimes getting in the farmers markets and things can be hard. So getting in on a CSA and supporting your local farmers is so important, and it makes a difference in their income and their lives, and therefore all of our lives, right? Because they provide the food that we eat. So that's something else I feel very passionate about too. So maybe I'll try and get one of their boxes. There are a few farmers, and I'll see what I can do to spread out some boxes so I don't end up with way too many things. But because I want to show you everything, right? Yeah, Veggies Don't Bite is a nice site. She deals with picky eaters and things too. Okay, lovely ones, have a wonderful day. Make something really delicious and special, and take some time out for yourself, and just be kind to yourself and be kind to everybody else that you can. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.